I'm Ava, and this is Emily's current kitchen. At first glance, there's honestly not that much wrong with it. Like, it's a decent kitchen. But when you actually start to pay attention to some of the details of this kitchen, there's a lot wrong. Like this huge gap in our little mini fridge here, or the oven that's barely keeping it together. This literally broke off the other day. Or these cupboards that are barely holding on. It's been around for so many years now, and I think it's high time we make a new one. So to start, I made the very basic structure of the room out of foam board. But unlike most of my doll rooms, you're probably noticing that there's only actually 2 walls, and there's not one over there. But don't worry, that is all part of the plan, and I didn't just run low on foam board. And the only other thing I did already do is pre-cut a window. Okay, that was kind of satisfying. Come on. Now, again, unlike most of my doll rooms where I immediately jump into covering the walls and flooring of the room, we're actually gonna get right into building some of the furniture for this room. Now, following the several blueprints that I made for this room, because yes, I'm a professional and I draw everything out. Usually, we just kind of wing it. But I realized this is gonna be the most difficult room I've ever done. So I'm just a little bit intimidated. And we're gonna start by following this one, which is one of the main parts of the counter cabinet space thing. I don't know kitchen terms. Yes, I'm a professional. I'm trying my best. Now, of course, I'm starting off with more foam board. There's no surprise there. That I strategically glue together. Using the one and only, of course. Guys, this drawer got crooked and now I'm trying to fix it. Oh my gosh. Things are falling apart. Okay, I know I was literally just complaining about gaps and here I am with this like huge gap here. Luckily, this won't be seen though. Luckily, all of this is basically gonna be covered up. Okay, and so we just did a little bit of surgery on her. This has already been a struggle just getting here, but I did need to do that in order for the sink to properly fit. As for drawers, because yes, we're gonna have real working drawers, I cut out pieces of wood, glue them together, so that they can slide perfectly into their slots. And I repeat that a few more times, so there's one for each slot. Then I glue more wood to the front of the drawers, and use some skinny sticks for detailing on the front. With some gesso, I paint them entirely white. Then I cut the skinniest and tiniest pieces of wood, glue them together, paint them silver, and glue them to the drawers for handles. I also made these 2 other pieces that I'm gonna glue onto the front here because unlike the drawers, I'm not gonna make these cupboards working. That's just a lot of work, and I feel like these would never get opened up anyways. I also glued on one more skinny wood strip over on this side. I'm gonna slide in the sink so you guys can really get an idea of how it's coming together, and gosh, okay, that was loud. And now using lots of the same methods I just used to make this structure here. Guys, I pierced myself with my X-Acto knife. It really is the tiniest thing. That was not fun. I really just went like into my hand, so. Cute. It's not a Delightful Dolls room building video if I don't injure myself somehow. It literally hurts so bad. I make this guy as well with, again, a working drawer, and this one will be for a garbage. And I'm also just going to attach this big foam board block I made to it, and then glue our big 2 structures together. And then I also just have this other wood strip to glue in there. And I'm also making one more, except this one's going to be a bit different because first of all, I put some shelves in here, and this one's going to be a cupboard that actually works, if all goes to plan, that is. So for the actual door, I just have this piece of foam board, and then I'm going to use toothpicks to poke through the top into the door piece, and I do the same for the bottom as well, to create a hinge so that the door can actually like swing open like this. Update, the toothpicks suck and the whole thing literally broke in like 2 seconds, but using some really thin wire actually works so much better. Look how good that is. I'm also gonna add this extra rectangle of foam board to the bottom that will act as a footer, and I glue on this piece to it as well. I also glue in a footer for the bottom of our big structure as well. This is what we're working with right now, and the next step is gonna be countertops. So I bought these kind of like wood planks off Amazon, and I'm basically gonna like lay them in place of where they're gonna kind of go. And then with a pencil, I'm gonna mark out where I need to cut them, including the cutout for the sink. For cutting these pieces, I was not about to use my X-Acto knife, especially after it stabbed me. So I actually got my brother to teach me how to use a bandsaw, and it made my life so much easier. And I also used the sander to kind of make sure all the edges were nice and flat. It would have taken literally decades if I tried to use my X-Acto knife for all this. But before we move on to anything else, I want to take this particular piece here, and because this faucet needs to go into the wood, I just marked where I need to make a hole. And then using a drill, yeah, we're using lots of power tools in this video, I guess, but I'm gonna use it to help make that hole. Why isn't this working? Stop, guys. I feel so stupid. I was literally in reverse and I was wondering why it wasn't working. We're not gonna talk about that. This should work a lot better now. Yeah, oh my gosh. I feel so stupid. What the heck? And hopefully that should be big enough for this to fit into. Yes! Then I'm gonna use this nail buffer to kind of sand all of the edges and make sure they're nice and smooth. And this works surprisingly well. And I do that for all of the pieces as well. Now to stain the wood, because as much as I like the natural color of it, I want it to be a bit darker. I bought this water-based stain off Amazon. First and foremost, I gotta shake it. A lot. I don't know when to stop. Then I'm gonna put some in this bowl, which just ignore how dirty and crusty this bowl looks. I did experiment with this a little bit earlier. We're just gonna pour a little bit in there. Okay, that was actually a lot. And because this is a really dark color, I'm gonna mix a little bit of water in with this as well. I mix it together well, which I don't know if is actually possible with this tiny little stick. And then I'm gonna use a sponge to grab some of the stain and just wipe it onto our wood. And I'm just gonna keep doing that with all the pieces of wood. Oh my gosh, that was a lot. I also make sure to get the edges as well. And once the stain is dry, I got this water-based varnish that I'm gonna use to seal it. If I can get it open, it's on there. It looks like some of the varnish dried and literally sealed the lid on. Okay, there we go. I stirred up a little bit first. And then I'm just using a paintbrush to brush on a coat. And I'm gonna do this for all of the pieces as well, making sure I get the edges and everything. Once the varnish dries, it leaves this really nice, just kind of finish on the wood. I'm just gonna glue these pieces in place. Okay, now that all the countertops are in place, it's finally time to work on the walls. I'm definitely glad I waited to do this though, because I originally had such a different plan than what I want to do now, which is use this brick paper that I got from Michael's. And I think it's gonna look so good for kind of like kitchen tiling. Okay, and luckily I didn't glue anything in place yet, so this will make it a lot easier. Now that I have the bricks in, I'm gonna cover the rest of the wall in this really pretty dusty pink amazing color that was also for Michael's. I'm telling you guys, Michael's is where it's at. I am also aware that some things look a little bit off, like how there's this big blank spot over here and over there, and that weird thing on the wall. Anyways, it'll all come together, I promise, okay? Just trust. Okay, now I have to decide on the flooring. These are the three main options that I have. Either this kind of like marble looking floor, concrete, or wood. I don't know. I honestly think I might be leaning towards this wood just because I feel like it's more cozy and less like soulless. Next, I have some more smaller wood stain pieces and I'm gonna glue them into this corner over here. I also made another one of these cupboards that actually opens up and has shelving inside, and I'm gonna glue this next to the shelves we just glued on. Then for a trim around the bricks, I used literally like the thinnest strips of white cardstock just to kind of make the separation look a little more clean. I glue wood trim around the window, and for lots of my gluing, I've actually been using this glue here instead of hot glue, which is rare. Usually I only use hot glue and maybe a glue stick, but I've actually been loving this stuff. It's called Liquid Fusion, and that name is fitting because literally this will glue anything together and it will stay. 10 out of 10. I cut a piece of clear plastic out of doll packaging, and I'm gonna glue it on the other side of the window to look like glass. I also have this other piece of wood that I'm gonna glue in the windowsill here. Next, we're gonna put the sink together, but I'm gonna stick in the faucet into that hole that we drilled earlier. And part of me doesn't want to actually glue it in place so that you could actually move it around if you wanted. And then this faucet also came with two little handles that I'm gonna glue right beside. It looks so good! And the best part about this tap is it came with this little clear piece that you can actually like stick in. It's supposed to stick in. It's not really working right now. Okay, well, that's awkward. Okay, I'm using the smallest bit of hot glue to just put it in place right now. Unfortunately, it's a little short though, so it kind of just like stops midair, which is not extremely realistic, but maybe I could add on the rest with some more hot glue actually. This thing is so crusty. Oops. I'll probably just have to add on little sections at a time. It's kind of good. It's better than like the water just floating midair. Okay, the next project is I want to make a shelf for over here. So I ordered these long kind of like square wooden dowels off Amazon and painted them white. And I'm going to start by gluing these two over here. Then I have a ton of these flat white pieces that I'm gonna glue onto the dowels every 1.5 inch that I marked. And I glued 2 more of those square wooden dowels to the other side. And I think that looks so good and really helped separate like the actual brick from the pink wallpaper. This next part is so exciting because we're gonna be putting in the oven. If you guys didn't watch my AliExpress haul video, then you don't know about this oven, which is the best thing ever. Also very expensive. It turns on in the back, and there's a little light inside, and another one turns on when you open it up as well. Anyways, it is absolutely amazing. This bottom drawer also opens up, and I also recently did put on the actual Smeg sticker that it came with as well. And I did strategically glue these counters in place so that the oven does perfectly fit right in between. Oh, okay, it's a little snug, but the only thing is that it is a little bit short compared to like the countertops. Like I feel like it should be up a little bit more, but luckily someone informed me that these little pieces that the oven came with are actually little feet for the oven. Oh, now I think these are literally supposed to just pop in. Oh, maybe not. Okay, they don't seem to like to actually stay in place, so I am just gonna use some hot glue to help like hold them in place. I did that for all the legs, and if you're wondering what these other little pieces are here, according to my brother, which may or may not be right, you can screw them into the feet to kind of like make the height adjustable and like make sure that it's level, which makes sense, I feel like. So I am gonna use these. All right, I think that's pretty good. And it did also come with these 2 little pieces to go above on the burners. Along with the oven, I also got this fan. It also has a working light. The only issue here though is that where I want to place it is there, but clearly then there's a lot sticking out at the top here, which is not ideal, especially for storing it. So my solution, or at least I hope is a solution, is I'm gonna glue on some pieces of foam board onto the back of this thing to almost make like a little hook so that it's detachable. But this way I can attach it when I'm gonna be using the room for videos or photos or whatnot. And then as soon as I need to store it again, I can just simply take it off. Okay, that was kind of genius of me. Now you're probably wondering what's going over there. Or maybe it's extremely obvious, but if you didn't already figure it out, a fridge. And this is another appliance that I got from AliExpress, and I also put the Smeg sticker on this one as well. Again, if you haven't seen the AliExpress video, you're about to be mind blown, but look at this. Like, are you kidding me? This is so good. The light is amazing. It's the most amazing realistic fridge ever. And so, of course, we made space for it in the kitchen right over here. That thing's massive. And it low-key kind of like blocks a lot of this area over here, especially from like the front angle. You can't even like see the sink. That's why I'm definitely not going to glue this in place. So if we ever want to get like a good angle of the sink, we can always just temporarily place it off to the side. But from like this angle of the kitchen, it's so good. Oh my gosh, here's how this looks with the lights out. And let's check out the fridge. Oh my gosh. The fridge is a little bit overpowering, honestly. Like, that is such a bright light. I take a piece of paperboard and I wrap and glue a larger piece of paperboard around it. Wrap a skinny strip along the top edge. I paint it gray and put a garbage bag inside to make a little garbage can that I can place into this drawer here and slide back in place. Isn't that so cute, though? Like, what the heck? Next, I glue strips of wood together. For a drawer organizer, please fit. Oh my gosh, barely. Yes. To store our cutlery. That looks so cute. Now I have this thing that, again, I got off AliExpress, and I think I want to attach it to the wall over here. And using these little attachments, we can hook them onto the board. Okay, I'm embarrassed to admit how long it took me to figure out how I wanted to organize this thing, but I think this is finally what I'm gonna go with. We have these little spices that I did steal from the other kitchen, but I'm not gonna steal anything else from that kitchen. I have this little like grocery list over here, these adorable little measuring spoons that I got from AliExpress, along with these spatulas, this little thing to hold pencils, and Mini Brand's home cutting board. I even made some of my own custom hooks over here that just worked better with certain items, so I stole these stools from the other kitchen. I'm not gonna steal anything else from that kitchen. And we need bar stools, so let's put them over here. I'm honestly not sure if they're fully the aesthetic for this kitchen, but they are more of a temporary thing right now because I did order some stools off AliExpress. Yes, I could have also built them myself, but I've done enough building, okay? I'm done with it. I just want to decorate and have fun at this point. So anyways, they're going to be coming eventually, and I'll probably replace these ones with the new ones. Okay, and now's the part that I've basically been mainly looking forward to this whole time, because it's also the easiest and the most, like, rewarding. Basically just decorating everything and putting stuff everywhere. We're gonna begin with filling up the shelf over here. I have this mini cooler, these little pink kitchen, I don't know what these are, little Tupperware containers, bowls that I got from Michael's, random empty jars, this adorable watering can, these bowls from AliExpress. I have these little plates and matching teacups. And lastly, on the very top shelf, I'm gonna put this little rice cooker there. I think that looks good. Okay, over here, I have this little basket of like fruit and random stuff. This basket was from Michael's, and I think it'll just look so good on the counter over here, along with this watermelon. I'm gonna place a little cutting board down as well with a slice of watermelon and one of the knives from this knife block. I made these two little placemats out of some pink fabric that I'm gonna place on the bar here with a little white plate on each one. I'm gonna place down this amazing little stand mixer. Then I have this little blender, and I actually do have a pink version of this one, but I think the blue is kind of nice and adds a little bit more color variation to the room. I have a little metal pot that I'll place on the stove. I love these little flowers, and I'm going to put them right by the window over here. And right beside that, I'm going to place this little mini sponge. Here's this little humidifier that was actually from Mini Brand's home that I'm going to put in the windowsill. I made this little vase myself out of clay and just poked a little plant in it, and I'm going to put that in the windowsill as well. I'm gonna put this knife block over here with all of these adorable little knives. Now to fill up these shelves. I have more wooden bowls, pink little plates and bowls from AliExpress, and these thingies that some people were saying were cupcake liners, but I don't know if I believe that. Not that I don't trust you guys, just because I've never seen cupcake liners that are like solid. So I don't know about that, but this adorable little potted plant with little sunflowers, and then more bowls. I have another piece of that same fabric I used for the placemats that I'm gonna put on the handle of the oven. And I'm literally going to just fold over and glue it in place. Now, I feel like there is too much blank space over there above the pegboard, which is what I found out it's called. So I think it would be a perfect spot for a clock. I was a little bit indecisive and literally printed off 7 different clocks. Option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4, option 5, option 6, and option 7. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna start by taking some like mirror paper to place over where the little hands are on the clock. I cut out a circle of plastic that's exactly the same size as the clock, and I'm gonna glue this strip of mirror paper attached to cardstock around it. And then I glue that to the piece of paper. What the heck, this looks so good. And now I'm gonna hang it on the wall. It looks so good. Okay. Then I did the best thing ever and made these mini little outlets. And so I'm just gonna kind of glue them around the room in a few different spots against the wall. I ended up putting one there, one behind these flowers, and one next to the knife block. I also have this strip of wood that I painted white that I'm gonna glue at the top of the window like that, just to look like there's curtains or blinds underneath it, if that makes sense. There's not gonna be, but just to make it look like there is. Okay, I got this pink trolley from AliExpress, and at first I wasn't sure if I was gonna use it in this room, but then I just stuffed it full with so many items, and I kind of love it now. Especially because there's not really any sort of pantry or anything for lots of like the snack items to go. The wheat thins just get me every time. And I think I'm just gonna place it right at the end of the bar here, because there's not really any other good spot for it to go. Like, it definitely makes the space look a lot busier, whether that be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know, let me know what you guys think. Is this too much? Oh my gosh, I'm a genius. I do really feel like the cart here does just busy up the space too much, and there's something about it I'm not in love with. But what if we did this? What if we moved the fridge, and yes, I did cover this back wall and the floor there as well, and we put the cart over here. Now, of course, we don't want to now just not have a fridge, but I could just use any piece of foam board to just extend the floor out a little bit and then place the fridge there. I don't usually like having to ever extend stuff outside of a room, and I'm not saying this is how it will permanently be. It also helps our problem with not being able to see the sink as well. Either place for the cart works. That's just another idea. Like, look from this angle, you can really see so much more into the kitchen, and it doesn't even look like the fridge is out of the room right now. Okay, but especially now when set up in this way, that spot on the wall over there really just looks so blank. So I printed off more stuff, and a lot of them, because again, I was indecisive, and actually it was exactly 7 again. But I want to hang up all of these on the wall because these are all so cute, but unfortunately there's only really room for one. I'm noticing now there's definitely a theme with croissants. Okay, I ended up deciding to go with this one because it's just so cute. I put some plastic over the front as well and then just use skinny strips for around the edges. This looks so good. I have no clue what the heck this says. I think it's like French or something. So hopefully it's not like weird. And yes, not all Canadians can speak French, okay? I'm just gonna hang it up right over here. So I did a thing. This has been going on for so long now where I think I'm finally done the kitchen and then I get distracted and decide that it needs way more stuff and then I end up working so much longer, and
I was supposed to be done this kitchen like a day ago.
But here we are. So I did glue on another one of the pictures and 2 more posters over here that don't have any framing or anything, so that if we want to move the fridge back in front, it won't be any problem. And then I also did just use my wooden letters to spell out yum. Okay, now I truly believe the last part now is just filling up the last bit of cabinets and drawers that don't have anything in them right now, along with the fridge. Remember these tiny little gloves that don't actually fit? The other attachments for the stand mixer. Uh-oh, what the heck is going on? Something's stuck in here. Okay, maybe that shouldn't go in there after all. We'll put these little things in there instead. Maybe there's more room in this drawer. I think there might be. Yeah, there's slightly more room in this drawer. And yeah, this is very like random organizing right now, but I'll probably like rearrange everything later, honestly, but this is just the temporary setup. I really hope this fits in here, but I feel like it's not gonna. It does! Oh my gosh, it does. Wait, can we even have the lid upwards? Oh my gosh, stop. That literally fits. It's like the only thing that'll fit in that drawer now, but this cheese grater is so tiny, but I don't know. I'm just gonna, oh, I want to use it though. I have these little mini wine glasses. Never mind, the cheese grater might have to go. I also have these little mini solo cups. You guys might remember this massive measuring cup from my AliExpress video. I really am hoping it fits under here. Yes, wonderful. Okay, I was planning on putting these little glasses in there, but I don't know why they all turned yellow. Like, they literally are stained yellow. Except for, like, 2 that are clear still. You can really see the difference there. I guess I'll just put in these 2. I genuinely don't know what to put on that very top shelf, so we're just, like, not gonna put anything in there right now. Part of me doesn't want to put anything in this bottom drawer of the oven, just because, like, I'm never gonna make a doll bend over and reach this, but it does make sense for all of, like, the tins and stuff to go in here. So I think that's what I'll do. And now for the extremely fun part of filling up the fridge. I can already tell I'm gonna have to remove this shelf here, just so we can have some taller items in here as well. And let's just begin. I'm also gonna have to move one of these out of here. And I'll definitely be taking advantage of using lots of mini brands for this as well. I think the cheese can have its own drawer so it doesn't contaminate the other food. You can make it look like the dolls have some leftover fast food. Lots of leftover fast food. Lots of leftover fast food. Like a lot. Okay, yeah, this whole fridge is just fast food at this point. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot that the fridge came with these little mini eggs. They are saving the day right now because they're like the only actual like food going into the fridge. I almost moved Subway up there so that the eggs can really be the main attraction here. Okay, I got one more Subway thing to put in there. Then we'll fill up the freezer. Ice cream is just an essential, of course. This is the greatest thing I've ever accomplished. Notice how I put a background outside the window and made a light shining through? It's all in the details. Here's Emily in the new kitchen, and it's weird seeing her in this space. It's crazy that this is her kitchen. Like, girl, I'm jealous. Also, did you guys notice Emily's tote bag? Look at this thing. Well, there may or may not be an actual life-size version of this dropping very soon that you guys can actually use for yourself, along with a bunch of other merch that I've been working on and I'm so excited about. Like, look at this. All the main Emily and Friends characters are on it. And it even says Emily and Friends in the back. And so yes, you guys will be able to eventually get your hands on a life-size version of this. So stay tuned. I am just really proud of myself with how this kitchen turned out. I also love that not only does it look really good, but everything also functions. Like the drawers open, the cupboards open, the fridge opens and has a light, the oven opens and has a light. Also, to elaborate on why this is a corner room instead of a full room, well, first of all, you can get much better angles when there's a wall missing. And second of all, eventually, I'm gonna make another room for over there that's gonna be the dining room. So we can kind of like connect the 2 rooms and then have like a kitchen and then a dining room. Don't expect it anytime soon though. I need a little bit of a break before I build anything else. I'm so tired, plus my room is in desperate need of a deep cleaning before I even consider touching more foam board. Like, it's bad. As much as I am ready to fully forget about the last kitchen, I am happy that there's certain aspects of this kitchen that kind of reminds me of the other one, like how there's lots of the same stuff because I stole lots of the stuff, and how it even has like this similar kind of shape to it, and also how we managed to get some bricks in here as well because we all know I was a little obsessed with those white bricks. it was a bit excessive to say the least. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video just as much as I enjoyed building this kitchen. I want to give a huge shout out to Phoebe Georgia for becoming a member on my channel. If you want a shout out along with a bunch of other perks, make sure to join and become a member. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you can become part of the hashtag DD Squad, and keep your eyes open for some life-size merch coming. You guys, I'm so excited, you have no idea. I love you all, and I'll see all of you guys in the next one. Bye!